Nobody likes a hypocrite. Well, unless you are one. Well, how can you tell if someone really is who they say they are? Well, Jesus said, beware of fakes. Good morning and welcome to 755 Live. For about 5 minutes, you'll hear all about easy to remember soundbite versions of what Jesus said. And the point is to help you experience life to the fullest, the Jesus way. Today's Jesus Said comes from Matthew 7, verses 15 through 20, and we'll be reading from the New Living Translation. And by the way, you can find a different command of Jesus every day at our Bible plan at bible.today.church. Matthew 7:15 begins, beware of false prophets who come disguised as harmless sheep, but are really vicious wolves. You can identify them by their fruit, that is, by the way they act. Can you pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? A good tree produces good fruit, and a bad tree produces bad fruit. A good tree can't produce bad fruit, and a bad tree can't produce good fruit. So, every tree that does not produce good fruit is chopped down and thrown into the fire. Yes, just as you can identify a tree by its fruit, so you can identify people by their actions. Now, beware of fakes is the soundbite version of that synopsis there that Jesus gave. But I think one of the points is that words are not enough. In context here, earlier in Matthew 7, Jesus had talked about how the gateway to life is very narrow in verse 14, and the road is difficult, and only a few find it. And then after what we just read, Jesus goes into the discourse of not everyone who calls out to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven. Only those who actually do the will of my Father in heaven will enter. And I think it's important to realize that transformation is not just information. It's not just what you say. The good news isn't about getting better information. It's about being transformed, about transformation. A changed heart changes not only your actions, but even your motives and intentions. And Jesus is saying here, be very careful. You can tell what kind of tree it is by its fruit. You can identify people by their actions, not just by their words. I always say you can't do the right thing the wrong way. And things like bitterness, judgment, pride, selfishness, you can't hide those things with words. They will eventually come out. So look for the kind of fruit that looks and sounds like Jesus. Well, who are those false prophets that we're to beware of today? Well, Paul gave this warning to his protege, Timothy, in 2 Timothy 4, verse 3. He said, for a time is coming when people will no longer listen to sound teaching or to sound and wholesome teaching. They will follow their own desires and will look for teachers who will tell them whatever their itching ears want to hear. That's kind of scary. We need to be careful. You should be careful who you are listening to, who you are getting information from. So before you share that quote, before you repost that sermon clip or that meme, does the fruit of their lives look like the commands and example of Jesus? Is there the kind of fruit that represents the fruit of the Spirit? Or is there arrogance? Is there pride? Is there judgment and condemnation? Because a good tree can't bear bad fruit, and a bad tree can't bear good fruit. And there are a lot of very good and well-meaning and great-sounding words and phrases out there. But the truth is, what actions are being displayed? What fruit is on display? What kind of attitude is being represented. Because Jesus said that's how you can really tell someone who is fake and just saying, Lord, Lord, who doesn't know Jesus, or someone who really has had that transformation. Jesus said, beware of fakes. How can you put that into action today? Thank you so much for listening. If this is meaningful to you, it really means a lot when you like it, when you share it, when you comment. I really appreciate you. I hope that you have an amazing day. And I hope this time together has helped you live life to the fullest the Jesus way. And remember, follow Jesus today. Love first.